welcome, bienvenido. Today's Thursday. It is usually YouTube celebrity or real celebrity or whatever you want to call it Thursday. And today I'm not going to talk about a YouTube personality in particular or a celebrity in particular. I'm going to talk about the phenomenon of collaborations, product creations, etc. Now, I don't know how far back you can remember, but I am going back all the way to when blogs started. And the reason why I'm going is because in the beginning, and this has been true for all social media, not just blogs, when blogs started, it was not about making money. It was about being able to communicate what you felt, saying what you thought about a particular topic, expressing an opinion, entertainment, whatever your gig was. The point was you would get a blog, usually for free, and then you would publish whatever you had in mind. If you were a poet, you would publish poetry. If you were a reporter that was working a particular beat, but you liked another topic, you could express yourself that way. If you were looking for a job, there's a lot of people that created blogs to talk about their job search and whatever your interests were. That was the blog. That was the point of the blog. Then we started seeing Facebook and Twitter and all other social media, and we saw the phenomenon where certain people became celebrities on social media. And then, of course, we have YouTube, which people started just to express themselves, and in the beginning, there was no money involved. There was the occasional person that could make money for several reasons. Either they got sponsored because they talked about a particular product or a particular thing. There were books made. There were movies made about them. A movie that comes to mind is about a young woman that used a Julia Child's book to come up with recipes because she didn't know how to cook. And she was writing a blog about that, and that blog became famous, and then she became famous, and they made a movie about her. That's one example. Another example I can give you is there was a cat that had a look like he was ticked off all the time. I think it's Grumpy Cat. And Grumpy Cat even had commercials. Let me think. Is there any? And of course, we all know about the makeup gurus with their collabs and now their product launches and whatnot. Now, that's the progression. Here's the phenomenon, and I am talking from the perspective of a person that loves social media. I am fascinated by social media because I think social media is a microcosm of reality for the rest of the world. The thought that people think that we're different in social media than we are outside, no, we're not. I'll give you an example. People say, well, you're always happy on social media and you're always posting the best stuff and blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. Do you know any person that doesn't do that in real life? Like when they go on a trip, they always tell you all the good, fun things they did. They don't tell you about getting sick halfway through the cruise unless there's a funny story involved with that. So, no, we're not different. We're the same person. In fact, if anything, we're more real on social media than we are in real life because on social media, for some reason, we feel that we can say whatever we feel like and we're not going to get punished for it. As punished as you could get if you were standing in front of a person saying those horrible things you say. So, the phenomenon that I want to talk about today has to do with collabs, product creation, and the reaction that we, as social media users, have. Yesterday, Peter Ma was talking in one of his videos about how people were upset about collabs. I can't remember if it was him or Petty Page. One of the two was talking about the fact that people got angry because so and so launched a product or this other person did a collab. Like, they're not supposed to make money. Now, let's go back a second. A lot of people have been able to use social... I'm sorry. Excuse me a second. Don't use alarms in the middle of the day. Why is that on? Sorry, apparently I had an alarm. And I'm going to leave this here because I don't edit. And I don't want to get into the whole mess of editing and starting over. So here's the thing. A lot of people have been able to use social media to make money. And what I mean by that is there were revenues from advertising here on YouTube. There are people that have become Instagram famous, and so they have a lot of product placement and whatnot. And for some reason, their fans seem to be under the illusion that they're not supposed to make money. Okay, let me explain something to you. If a person, there's several reasons why you use social media. Let me start there. You might, like some people, want to make a living and you decide to abandon everything and concentrate on spending all your time, effort, money, everything on creating a YouTube channel. That's one example. Second example would be somebody like YouTube famous Peter Mon said, "I'm not here for the money, I'm here for the fame." And he said that a couple days ago in a video, and I thought that was hilarious, and it's true too, because the average person that comes to YouTube now with all the mess with the algorithms and the demonetization and whatnot, the average person that starts a channel now or is actually grinding in their channel now, they're not doing it because they need the money, or I shouldn't say need, they want the money. They're doing it because they want their message out there. Now, whether that is themselves as a brand, as a person, and they want to be famous like Peter Mon, or because they have something that they think they want to share with the world, or they have a beautiful voice and they want to share that, or they're writers and they want to share that. It doesn't matter what the message is. The bottom line is that's another reason why you become a social media celebrity. A third reason why you might want to be a social, why you might get involved in social media, is just because you want to connect with other people, and it just so happens that you make either funny or interesting comments, and so you become famous by default. Let's call it that way. Doesn't matter how you get here. It doesn't matter what your purpose is. I don't see anything wrong with people making money. If you use Patreon, if like me you have a campaign on a crowdsourcing site, if you decide to sell a book, if you promote your own brand of products or services or whatever, I don't see absolutely anything wrong with that. I see something wrong with people doing it without telling you that they're doing it. That definitely is a no-no for me. I personally don't make money out of anything I'm doing on social media right now. But I can guarantee you that if it's even a penny I'm making, I will tell you about it, because I believe in being crystal clear about my motives. Number one is the law. And number two, I wouldn't feel right telling you, oh, I use this product and it's sponsored and I don't tell you. I just think that's just, ugh. Anyway, bottom line is this. People that get upset, and people that are fans and get upset at the people that they are fans of, because those people are making money, are a little self-centered and mean. And I'm going to tell you why. A person has to make a living, okay? If a person decided to start a YouTube channel in order for them to get famous so that they can move their product or their service, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. A lot of people do it. That's how TV got started. The whole purpose, the reason why soap operas are called soap operas was because the sole purpose of a soap opera was to advertise soap. True story. Look it up. It's always been a method of advertising. Let's put it that way. That's why companies advertise on TV, and they haven't figured out that that's kind of obsolete right now. But people are moving to social media. And so long as they tell you that they're advertising for a particular company or that they're sponsored, there's nothing wrong with that. You should not get upset because your favorite YouTuber all of a sudden decided to create a product. As far as expertise, and this is something I heard, and I really can't remember if it was Peter Mon or Petty Page. One of the two said it. And please, if you know who it is, please post it down below so I know which one said it. But here's the thing. There was a comment made about what makes you an expert on XYZ. And I believe we were talking in that particular instance about makeup gurus. Well, if a person is putting on makeup every day and showing you tutorials and analyzing different products and doing reviews, they have an expertise. Just because they didn't go to college and spend gazillions of dollars on a college education doesn't mean that they're not an expert. That would be like telling a writer that never went to school for writing that they should not write because they didn't study writing. I gotta tell you, I know a person that's a really good writer, and unfortunately, she hasn't written anything recently because I can't wait to publish her. But I can tell you this: she went to college with every intention of getting a degree in writing, and she found it so constricting that she completely blanked out and could not write a thing. And the reason is the average teacher is going to want you to use their methods and their madness. And you are you and they are them. And so it's ridiculous for you to think that you can force a person to write the way you write. The same goes for everything else that is artistic or creative in nature. Now, if you're talking about a person that's a doctor, and this is debatable right now because doctors are allowing certain things to happen that aggravate the crap out of me. But that's the topic for another video. If you're a doctor or a lawyer or any of those types of jobs that you do need an education, I understand your point of view there. But if we're talking about makeup, for example, and I think it was Peter Munn because he was talking about they don't actually make it, they have somebody make it for them. But the bottom line is this: the average YouTube personality who has made it big because they put on makeup, they know a lot about makeup as far as what texture works well for them, what products work, what products don't work, what color formulations are better, etc. They do know their stuff. Just because they don't know how to add chemical A to chemical B to make product C doesn't mean that they're not experts in their field. You cannot expect people to be experts on every possible item of a particular thing. For example, you love a reporter because the reporter gives has a sports show, and they provide you with information about different sports figures. That doesn't mean they have to learn every single sport to be able to talk about that particular sport. In fact, I don't even think it's necessary for you to be a sports figure at all to be a good reporter. You just need to know your stuff and do your research. Simple as that. The actor that takes on a role of a doctor on TV has no clue what they're saying half of the time. And if you don't believe me, go and check interviews of McDreamy, I think it is, and even George Clooney when he was doing ER. They often said that they had no idea what half of the stuff they said meant, but the point was that they had to deliver the message in a way that sounded like they knew what they were doing. And that's the bottom line. Now, I give you another example. A person that's a chef. A chef creates a particular product, and that product they decide to market it in stores. The chef doesn't have to know how to refrigerate it properly or create it properly so that it keeps until it goes to your table. That's the job of the company that is actually creating the mass production of the product. He delivers the recipe and he says, I want this to taste like this when they get it home. And that's what they have to do. They don't have to know all the ins and outs and the distribution channels and the supermarkets and the stores and how to display. That's not their job. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Don't get mad at your favorite YouTuber. If you really enjoy a person, a YouTuber, or any personality, and even celebrities. Right now, we have Rihanna with the makeup, and Kim Kardashian has makeup, and Sarah Jessica Parker a few years back had perfume, and we have a lot of people making a lot of things. Just because somebody likes something and wants to create something good for you and they put their name on it, they don't have to be a complete expert on. I just told you to shut up. Really? Sorry. Um, they don't have to be experts on every single part of a process to be able to deliver for you. Now, what I think is funny, and this is the analogy I used back when I think it was Benefit that had a weekend getaway for all the makeup gurus, and everybody was upset that why do they get a weekend getaway, whatever. Think about your doctor. Your average doctor gets a visit at least once a week by several pharmaceutical companies. They get products for free, which then they give to you so that you can test the product and see if you like it, and then they'll give you the prescription. They actually have conventions once a year, and yeah, they pay to get there, but they usually don't have to pay for much after that. Most industries have events where there are freebies for the participants. A big example I can give you is insurance people. Good insurance people go to a convention once a year and they don't pay for anything. That's true for top. Ooh, that's weird. Okay, let me get a little further away because the sun's coming this way. Um, Most industries have events where they basically pamper their people. I used to work in a telemarketing environment back in Puerto Rico, and once a year, the company would send me to the convention. Now, I didn't pay for anything. My company sent me, which means the airfare and the hotel were paid for by my company. And they also paid for the convention fee. The convention fee included 3 dinner parties. It included all the events. And that's not counting that I usually had to come back with an extra bag because they gave me all these freebies and all these goodies, which I would then share with the rest of the people that work with me. But the bottom line is that every industry has some sort of event for their people. You should not get mad at the gig. If you're really so jealous about the gig, then start your own gig. Find out what your real talent is, or what you're something that you're really passionate about. I don't care what age you are. For the love of God, I'm 50. I'm going to be 51 in 2 weeks. Do whatever you want to do. Do whatever you love to do. I love to talk. You can tell. Hello. I love to talk, and I love to tell people what I think about things, and I love writing. So I do those things. It doesn't mean that I'm going to make gazillions of dollars off of YouTube. For the love of God, I have, between the 3 channels, I think I have 53. No, I now have 80 people between the 3 channels. But the bottom line is that, you do what you love. Whether you're getting paid for it or not is irrelevant. But if somebody is getting paid for their gig, don't hate on them. Get your own gig. Make your own money. Figure out a way of monetizing whatever you do. And be happy for the other people. The happier you are for other people, the happier you're going to be with yourself. I can guarantee it. So anyway, I hope it didn't sound like a rant. It was supposed to be about celebrities and not about ranting. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching.